Joining us now is Afsaneh Beschloss. She is founder and CEO of RockCreek, and it's great to have you back on the show. Welcome.
Great to be with you.
So let's start right there, because this has been a global bull market. We focus so much on the U.S., but how do you see that versus the rest of the world?
So we had such low valuations in places like emerging markets that we were just talking about. And of course, you've had a number of companies that are getting better, plus they're benefiting from inflation and currency rates with the dollar getting weaker. And last but not least, Korea being up 57% to a large extent is due to a few stocks, but a lot of them may be AI. Similarly in China.
Yeah, and that's exactly where I was going to go with you. And that was, how much is AI not only powering U.S. markets, and as we were talking about with a guest just earlier on the show, maybe contributing to some of the fragility within the market because of that, but whether that's playing out in other parts of the world too.
So we're seeing that obviously in some emerging markets, but we're seeing some emerging markets that were in such disastrous situation and, there'd been negative returns for a number of years. Places like Colombia, et cetera, where they are doing well because they're starting with a low base. They have a few companies that have done well, or you've seen Hungary, you've seen what's gone on in Argentina, not today necessarily, but over the last week or two. But what is also interesting is with Europe, where we thought with the trade numbers as we saw them, we would see much worse equity markets. And as you said, Germany has done particularly well. Defense has done unbelievably well. So I think that's like an amazing, number. You look at defense. If you look at the different baskets of defense, some are up as much as 80 to over 100% in Europe.
Afsaneh, good to see you, first of all, but continuing on your line of thought there on Europe, Europe had been underperforming the U.S. markets for so long in the sense that perhaps led by Germany, we're going to start to spend more, even if it means debt, I think got the market excited. But how will we know whether that has legs as far as what European markets can do?
So I think European markets are going to be, you had the PIGS, I don't want to say pigs, that had done, again, not so well during COVID and had restructuring plans. Those countries are doing better because they've had better fiscal plans. In fact, it's France, Germany that are going to be spending a lot of money. France is the one that has been borrowing the most relative to its GDP, so you do need to watch that in the longer run. Germany and UK, there's a lot of defense-related stocks that we should look at and follow a little bit more. And I think that those stocks will have legs because Europeans have just started investing in defense, and that, is going to have a longer life. AI is where Europe is really behind.
Okay. Now, more broadly, in the global trade order, which is certainly reshuffling right now, if you think, and please tell me if you do, that that's shifting in some ways away from the U.S. as this administration gets tougher on America getting its fair share, who benefits overseas, and how should investors think about how new alliances and deals might benefit some different regions and countries?
Well, we're seeing all these different trade deals between countries and between Europeans and certain Asian countries. So that has been moving very fast. India is the one reason we see that in the India-U.S. relationship on trade has been sort of on ice. We still don't have a resolution of that. But India has been making deals with other countries, as we've seen. So there's going to be a lot more bilateral versus multilateral deals, or, the way which would have been ideal, at least in old trade theory. And that will probably mean more production in other countries. But let's just be clear, China is still eating everyone's lunch, right? There's, when you look at cars being sold, the EV cars that China is selling into Europe, into the rest of emerging markets, that's still huge, even if they were down last month.